item 5 in today's order paper. That is correction of votes and proceedings and that of the official report. Votes and proceedings and that of the official report. We will begin with votes and proceedings, and we will start from page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page number 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page number 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page 27. And finally, page 28. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, the 21st July 2026 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, I have in my hands the 14th July 2026 edition of the official report. 14 July 2026 edition of the official report. Honorable members, I take it for the last time. 14 July 2026 edition of the official report. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of Tuesday, the 14th July 2026 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Yes, leadership.
Mr. Speaker, we want to take motion number 15 at page 8 of today's order paper.
Leader, is the ranking here or any member of the committee? If the ranking is not here, then probably I will hold on to that and we can take a statement or if you can lay some of the papers.
Mr. Speaker, we have only one statement in the name of Kwame Appiah-Kodua, but I'm sure he's not around. So we can take the report.
Yes, Habib, Honorable, can I hear you?
Mr. Speaker, I don't think there should be any challenge with regards to the reports, because yesterday we were meant to take those reports, but I related with the chairman of the Energy Committee that we were exhausted. So today we could take that report. And I don't know, even though I can't see any from our side, but if it will not hurt, we can quickly just take that.
If you agree, then we can take the report. Yes. So is it that is 15, motion 15?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Wonderful. So honorable members, come with me to page 8. Page 8. Item listed 15. Motion by the chairman of the Energy Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to request that motion numbered 15 on today's order paper, page 8, be taken today, notwithstanding the provision of Order 104.1 or the standing order, which requires that a motion shall not be debated until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed, that a notice to move the motion is given. The motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the National Petroleum Authority for the year 2024 may be moved today. I so move.
Thank you very much. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, this is procedural motion. I will therefore crave your indulgence to put the question. And the question is, as many as are in favor that motion listed 15 in today's order paper is adopted, say aye. Aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 15 is carried. Yes, Chairman, can we take the substantive motion 16?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I so move that the motion to enable this House adopt the report of the Committee on Energy on annual statement by the Audit Committee of the National Petroleum Authority for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, having moved the motion, I will also present your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, for lack of time, I will request that the Hansa Department will capture the whole report as being read, whilst I read the observation and conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Committee review all the audit findings and recommendations in respect of the authority for the year under review. The committee noted that most audit issues have been successfully resolved by the authority. However, the following issues were not fully resolved. Inventory and store management weaknesses. The statement observed that the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, had significant weaknesses in the stores management system as one of its regional offices, including the absence of shelves, the failure to assign a dedicated store officer, inadequate stores documentation, and poor inventory management practices. The committee noted that although management had acknowledged the deficiencies, the corrective measures had remained outstanding beyond the implementation timeline, with the authority attributing the delay to the budgetary constraints and addition to seek approval to expand the corrective intervention to cover all the regional offices. The committee recommends that management expedites the completion of the stores improvement program across all regions, all regional offices, and ensure that each office is equipped with adequate storage facilities, assign qualified store personnel, and operate with the requisite inventory control documentation to strengthen accountability over public assets. Weak management oversight over budget performance. The statement observed that management did not regularly review budget performance reports before their submission to the board, contrary to sound financial management practices. Although management indicated that corrective measures had since been introduced, the committee considered the omission to be a fundamental weakness which could impinge sound corporate governance and accountability. The committee recommends that management institutionalize periodic budget performance review at management level and ensures that all heads of department have timely access to budget performance information and feedback to facilitate effective financial oversight and decision-making. Outstanding receivables and debt recovery challenges. The audit committee observed that the authority continued to carry a substantial outstanding receivable from oil marketing companies, OMCs, including long outstanding debts with no movement over several years. The committee noted that in response to the issue, management has established a receivable committee and has successfully recovered significant amount of outstanding debt, 170,837,250 and 250 cedis, 0 pesos, successfully recovered out of the total of 231,729,203 Ghana cedis, 95 pesos. Deactivated defaulting entities from the electronic licensing platform and referred certain cases for investigation. The committee recommends that management intensify the debt recovery efforts by strengthening the work of the receivable committee, continuously monitor aged receivables, pursuing legal recovery actions where necessary, and provide periodic reports on debt recovery performance to help guide credit decision. Need to strengthen enforcement of the regulatory framework. The statement observed that management had identified limitations in existing legislative framework as part of...
Honorable, can you jump to conclusion, please?
In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee is satisfied that a statement has been prepared and presented to Parliament in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act at 2016 at 921 and Audit Committee Guidelines 2023. The committee recommends to the House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the National Petroleum Authority for the year 2024, respectfully submitted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and the report of the committee has been read. Let me have now cited Honorable Collins Admakun, the Deputy Ranking. Ranking, can you second the motion? And
yes, Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my chairman and to state that this report is in respect of the year 2024. It is true that we identify some internal control ineffectiveness. Fortunately, when we were considering the 2025, we realized that most of the issues have been taken care of and resolved in the 2025 report that was presented to us. One of the biggest issues that we encountered was the inability of the management of NPA to meet regularly to, as it were, brainstorm on performance within the year. We acknowledged that and informed them that we do not want to see that weakness occur again in subsequent reports. If you look at the outstanding receivables, Mr. Speaker, over 170 million had been recovered from the 231 million that was outstanding. This year, that effort has continued, having put together a debts recovery strategy, which they explained to us is in full effect. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure members that efforts are being made to ensure that such anomalies do not appear in subsequent audit reports. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
thank you very much. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by Audit Committee of the National Petroleum Authority. Mr. Speaker, going through the report, I do observe that the committee recommendations are about 5 different folds. And Chairman of the committee, I am very happy that the conclusion part that you satisfied that there was actually no problem. But currently, you could see that even though this House, sometime last year, passed the Energy Sector Recovery Levy 2025, where we introduced 1 cedi per liter of fuel. The essence of this was to reduce the price of fuel at the pump. But it is very sad that looking at the 2024 annual report, as at then, the price of a liter of fuel in terms of diesel was somewhere 14. And then that of petrol was around 11 to 12 cedis per liter. But currently, after introducing the Energy Sector Recovery Levy to introduce 1 cedi per liter of fuel, at the moment, a liter of fuel at the filling station is going above 16 cedis per liter, and that of diesel and that of petrol is somewhere around 14 per liter. And so, Chairman, the issue I'm raising based on the recommendations that your committee said in its report, it is an indication that the levy that we did introduce did not solve its problem. One of the other reasons for introducing the e-levy, then the Energy Sector Recovery Levy of the 1 cedi, was to keep our lights on. But there is doomsaw in other parts of the country, which it did not serve its purpose, to reduce the price of fuel at the pump, yet fuel prices are higher than what the NDC government inherited. So this is a clear indication that even after introducing 1 liter per liter at pumps, you could not even keep the prices that you inherited. And even introducing the 1 cedi per liter to keep our lights on, we are still experiencing doomsaw in other parts of the country. Even with the energy sector recovery, the reporting to this House in terms of oversight. Government had reported that the first 8 months, they were supposed to come back to this House to tell us how much has been realized and to also report to us what has been done. That hasn't been done. I have been able to take it upon myself to file an RTI to the minister responsible for energy about the amount of money that was realized in the energy sector recovery to reduce the price of fuel at the pump, but yet no response have come into that. So, Mr. Speaker, without much, even though I support the adoption of the audit report of the committee, but it is a clear indication that the NDC government, this current government, introduction of the 1 cedi per litre did not solve any problem in the country. It did not stop Dumso, and it did not reduce the price of fuel at the pump. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable member, if your leader, we are going to have, I think we have about seven different. Okay, then let me go to Afenyo South before I come to you.
Speaker, I'm so grateful for the opportunity, whilst I also rise to add my voice for the adoption of the Audit Committee report of the National Petroleum Authority for the 2024 financial year. Mr. Speaker, I wish to particularly draw attention to page 3, item 5.1, which has to do with inventory and store management weaknesses. And in particularly, this report has highlighted deficiencies such as poor inventory, inadequate store documentation, and no dedicated store officer. Mr. Speaker, this is at the heart of weak internal control measures. And once internal control measures are weak, it means operationally and financially, the institution will not be stable. And so, for us to guarantee that there is a balance between supply and demand, we must definitely ensure that internal control measures are strong enough so as to avoid overstocking, and so that we make the best use of the little resources that we have. With this few intervention, I wish to call on the House to adopt the report of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I'll give the last floor to Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Energy Committee for having represented the House in examining the internal audit report of the National Petroleum Authority. Mr. Speaker, two quick issues. The first issue has to do with observation on inventory management. Mr. Speaker, this I find it quite important to comment on because it is quite a phenomenon among almost all institutions that appear before us in terms of this internal control system. And it's important that as a House, we don't have to have this repeating in every report, every internal audit report that comes to us, because it's becoming a habit and they don't see the agency, but internal controls are as important as any external auditing process, because the compliance with corporate governance depends on the system we put in place. And I think that as a House, we need to see how we can address this once and for all. Mr. Speaker, but one of the explanations they keep giving us, which is also contained in this report, is to the effect that they have not been able to do procurement, i.e. of information management system or inventory management systems. And when you ask, you say the Minister of Finance has not given them financial clearance in order to procure those particular, management systems. And I think that we have to, as a House, if at committee level or we have joint committees or even what the committee as a whole, to, send a clear message, because, Mr. Speaker, when they keep coming to us and they keep bringing the same mistakes, the same error, the same internal weakness, governance, corporate governance weaknesses, it sends a sense that we are not actually doing our meanwhile, we keep on making recommendations. Mr. Speaker, the last issue has to do with the observation about receivables. The MPA has about 231 million, over 231 million receivables. In other words, this is money that belongs to the state, but this money cannot be retrieved. And due to their internal system, what we call the receivable committees, they were able to receive at about a half of this amount. What it means is that about half of over 170 million is still at large, or is still money that we've not been able to, collect. And I think that as an institution, once we commend the MPA for, putting in measure to retrieve part of the money, we must do more, because this country cannot be, looking for revenue in order to meet our demands, and yet we have money in the hands of individuals, in the hands of private people that we cannot, retrieve. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And I also urge the House to adopt or to, accept the report of the committee as reflecting for that particular 2024 financial year. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is as many as are in favor of the motion listed 16 in today's order paper, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, it's obvious the ayes have it. The motion listed 16 in today's order paper is hereby carried. We turn to motion 17. Chairman of the Energy Committee. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, you have so many reports.
Yes,
so
Mr. Speaker.
Please
I will
try to make them snappy.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I want to cleave your indulgence to move to motion 19 19. The petroleum hub.
I called 17.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. They don't have the copy there, so I'll move to 19 and then come back to 17.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether it is the chairman of the committee who applied for the variation of order of business. His leadership should have been able to do that. And also, you are not giving us enough reasons why you want to move away from motion 17.
That is Habib for you.
So, Mr. Speaker, the right thing should be done. The leadership, they should apply for the variation of the order of business.
Unless
so that
he wants to outreach his leaders.
Yes, Honorable Champon.
Mr. Speaker, as the chairman just said, many of them don't have enough copies of the report. That's why we want to vary it and do 19. And with the 19, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about 2024 reports, but they've stated 2025, so it must be corrected. The 19 is 2024.
Motion 19 or page 19?
Motion 19 at page 9.
Well. So the application has been granted. The application has been granted, but the chairman, before I will allow you the floor, kindly indulge me to acknowledge our visitors at the public gallery. We have a couple of schools at the public gallery, and the first school is Agomeda Presby Basic School. Agomeda Presby Basic School. They are here being led by Asei Aguda Gilbert, who is a teacher of the school, and the school is located in the Shai Doku constituency. I'm told your number is 59. The second school is Amos Okra SDA Primary. Amos Okra SDA Primary. Their leader is Clement Odroboateng, who is assistant head teacher, and the school is located in the Kwabre East constituency. Your number, I'm told, is 55. The third school is Sakra Wono RC Primary. Sakra Wono RC Primary. Your leader is Antonio Poku, who is the head teacher, and the school is again located in Kwabre East constituency. Kwabre East constituency. Your number, again, I'm told, is 57 this time around. The fourth school is students from Afenyo North District. Students from Afenyo North District. Your leader is Martin Adofojo, who is the District Director of Education, Ghana Education Service. And the group is located in the Afenyo North constituency. Afenyo North constituency. Yes, I can see Dr. Fred Asamoah here, the Member of Parliament. And your number, I'm told, is 64. Dr. Fred Asamoah, you've seen your group from Akumadan area.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Afenyo North, we have one student from each junior secondary school to make sure that at least every single year we can cover the entire constituency. But I'm grateful.
Thank you.
Mr.
I'm
Speaker.
giving you that. Yes, thank you. So the fifth school is Methodist AC Junior High School. Methodist AC Junior High School. Your leader is Edmondson Samuel Kobina. Edmondson Samuel Kobina, who is a teacher, and the school is located in a Futu constituency, my leader's constituency. Yes. Again, we have University of Business and Integrated Studies. University of Business and Integrated Studies. Their leader is Tynos Tozi, who is the Law Students Union President. And the group is located in the Wa Central constituency. Wa Central constituency. You are 13 in number. Come again. That's your alma mater. Then you are going to take care of them. Doctor, are you going to take care of them?
Mr. Speaker, I mean, they need to experience the hospitality of Ghanaian Parliament. And if I am nominated by a right speaker to do that, if I am nominated by a right to do that, I will do that.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know why the majority side, in fact, the MP for Wa Central is a minister of state. He's a minister. So it is a case that your minister cannot take care of them, and we will know that the MP cannot take care of them. And then we will know on record that the MP who is a minister cannot take care of them. Then the opposition MP can try to do what he can do.
Yes, Honorable Comfordo.
Mr. Speaker, you are leading Honorable Kabiru into temptation. So please don't lead him into temptation.
But he opted to declare that school as his alma mater. So that is why, yes. Thank you. And the last school, yes. Yes, Honorable Bezedin.
Yes, thank you very much. Right, Honorable Speaker. Dr. Kabiru, that is not his alma mater. You attended what? No UBs. Did you attend UBs? You did not attend UBs.
Honorable President, I don't think this is the platform for this discussion.
Mr. Speaker, the West Central Constituency MP, Honorable Rashid Pelpua, is not in the chamber. We are here. Mr. Speaker.
Well.
Mr. Speaker, 3 of us are from the Upper West region, and we are here. Certainly, we'll take care of them.
Well.
We'll take care of them. Why? We are capable of taking care of them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The last coup is...
Mr. Speaker, I think it's important we settle this matter. That 3 members of parliament from the Upper West, the MP for DBI is here. Mr. Speaker, when we say Kroma Eshi, Mr. Speaker, to wait, there is no money in the system. Everybody is suffering, including the MPs. That is the reason why they cannot even own up to even support their people. It's clear. The MPs are running away from responsibility. You know, many of them, doctor was hiding. Look at where Honorable Bidzidin is seated, and he's about leaving the chamber. He's on the exit point. So it means that things are difficult. So the MPs, majority MPs, you can't even take care of visitors. Mr. Speaker, Kroma Eshi.
Dr. Sandari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to set the record straight that under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the resetting agenda, Ghana is working. And therefore, we have no problem
taking care of them.
Taking care of them. We are ready to take care of them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the last school is the Akuman 1 GHS and Primary. The Akuman 1 GHS and Primary. Yes, their leader is Fortune Abesiafa, who is a teacher, and the school is located in the Abrikuma North constituency. I'm told your number is 60. So all of you, on behalf of the House, we want to welcome you and wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. Thank you, and once again, you are welcome. Yes. Now, page 9, motion 19. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that notwithstanding the provision of Order 1041 of the standing orders, which requires a motion shall not be debated until 2 sitting days have elapsed after the notice to move the motion is given. The motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Energy on the budget performance reports in respect of Ministry of Energy and Green Transition for the year 2025 be moved today. I so move.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Rankin.
Mr. Speaker, I support the motion.
Well. The motion has been moved and has been seconded. Honorable members, this is procedural. I will therefore crave your indulgence to put the question. And the question is as many as are in favor of the motion listed 19 in today's order paper. Say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 19 is hereby adopted. Yes, Chairman, let's take the motion 20.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move motion item 20 on page 9 of today's order paper. Mr. Speaker, as I move the motion, I also submit your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, because of the numbers, I will ask that the Hansa Department captures the whole report as being read, as I read only the concluding part. Mr. Speaker, the committee acknowledges the efforts of management of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition and its agencies in delivering on their mandate during the year under review, despite the slow releases of budgetary funds. The committee respectfully recommends to the House to adopt this report on the budget performance report in respect of Ministry of Energy and Green Transition for the period January to December 2025. I so move.
Thank you very much. Yes, Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in supporting the motion, the committee finds some observations which I would like the House to be aware of it, because, Mr. Speaker, when you look at paragraph, I think that's 5.6, it was there that the ministry intend to establish special purpose vehicle to establish 1,200 megawatt thermal power plant. But, Mr. Speaker, we already have state entities like VRA who handles both hydro and thermal generation. I think we can make VRA handle such a thermal plant instead of having a special purpose vehicle to handle this, because it's going to be autonomous, monotonous, or whereby VRA can be divided into two, have a thermal division, and then we have the hydro also division. I think VRA can handle such an entity. And then when you move ahead, budget approvals also has become a challenge to the ministry, because the ministry was allocated 1.2 billion cedis. At the end of the year, only 706 million was released to the ministry. It has become an issue whereby the ministry currently need a gas for the gas plant that we have in this country. But, Mr. Speaker, there is persistent natural gas challenges in this country to feed the power, the thermal plant. An LNG terminal project that was to be established in Tema has already started, but due to this budget, inconsistent release of this budget allocation has made the gas an issue. So, Mr. Speaker, in supporting this report, I will urge the Ministry of Finance to constantly release the budget allocation to the ministry for them to be able to continue with their work. Mr. Speaker, I recommend this House to adopt this report and then the budget performance of this Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. The motion is now before all of us for consideration. Yes, my brother.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion on the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Mr. Speaker, during the committee meeting, some audit issues were observed, and my chairman and the ranking have mentioned some of them. One of them has to do with delays in issuance of commitment authorization. The other has to do with low budget outlay for capital expenditure, and then development of the 1,200 megawatts thermal power plant, which is also delayed. Mr. Speaker, in all, the committee observed that the cabinet has approved, the committee of the cabinet approved development of the second gas processing plant. The Deputy Minister informed the committee that the ministry was pursuing the implementation of the project through public-private partnership arrangement. He further indicated that a ministerial steering committee had been established to provide strategic oversight over the project, and that project is very important for our energy sector. Mr. Speaker, on this basis, I call on the House to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me take Honorable Azebwama.
I didn't prepare.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me to comment on this audit report from the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Mr. Speaker, I would comment briefly on two critical aspects. The first was raised briefly by my colleague, and that has to do with the delays in issuance of commitment authorization, 5.5. This has become a very serious area of concern. If you look at what other ministries have been reporting on. We all were in this house and we agreed that the Minister of Finance would introduce the commitment authorization. But the assurance was for the minister to use it to streamline expenditure and budgets that comes to them. But it shouldn't lead to undue delays to affect the work that the ministries, departments, and agencies require to do their work. Because at the end of the day, if they don't get the money which has been approved by this House, then it is of no consequence that we introduce the commitment authorization. So that is key. Mr. Speaker, my second commentary will be situated on the second gas processing plant. At 5.7, it said that they're looking at developing a second gas processing plant. But the issue that the committee raised was pursuing this through a PPP engagement or an arrangement. We already have Ghana Gas established. We have to empower Ghana Gas, separate it from JNPC, establish it as an entity body corporate to run the issues of gas for this country. Ghana Gas has been operating as a subsidiary or a subset of JNPC, but the demands of gas and its implications for our energy sector is dire. And so it is important that instead of engaging in PPP arrangement for a second gas processing plant, why don't we put it under the domain of Ghana Gas, so that at the end of the day, Ghana Gas will have a holistic determination of our gas infrastructure. They will manage it and then use it for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. Without more, Mr. Speaker, I commend the committee for a yeoman's job, and I will call on honorable members to support the adoption of this report. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the indulgence.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Masue Lekuto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the report and to ask that we adopt it. About the 5.7, it is good that we are thinking of the development of the second gas processing plant, the GPP2. My concern more is about us veering more into the renewable energy. As we speak, the generation mix for Ghana is thermal is 66%, hydro is 33%, and renewable energy is just 1%. I believe that we should be thinking more of veering into the solar energy, which is part of the renewable energies, because of the green transition aspect that we've added to the ministry. So that once we concentrate more on the solar energy and other smaller sources of energy generation, they will be cutting down on how much money we spend on the thermal, especially because of the cost that associated with fuel and other expenses. And so I wish to say that we appreciate what the ministry is doing so well, but as the name demands, we should be pushing more into the other sources of renewable energy to make sure that we increase the mix. On that score, I wish to say that the report is good, and I urge the House to adopt it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Collins Admarco.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just listened to my very good friend, Dr. Nyakote, on the comments on this report, and he was smiling all over the place. But during our meeting, he was not smiling at all. During our deliberations with the minister, he was not excited with the performance. So I'm surprised he's smiling on the floor. Mr. Speaker, the truth of the matter is that out of the 1.2 billion that was allocated to the ministry, only 657 million was released to the Ministry of Energy. In fact, a lot of the programs that were planned for 2025 were not met as a result of this inadequate amount of money released to the ministry. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if you look at what we call the universal access rate of electricity, they promised to do 90% by the close of 2025. That target was not met. The reason given was that, and my chairman was there, the reason was that monies have not been released for this particular purpose. So I'm surprised Mr. Nakote, who was so angry, now smiling all over the place. And if you look at the conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the conclusion is quite clear. Despite the slow releases of budgetary funds, it's quite clear When you come to the 1,200 megawatt thermal plant, Mr. Speaker, as my ranking member said, there are state-owned institutions that are already involved in power generation. This government has set up an SPV to conduct this particular project, same as the second gas processing plant. We have Ghana Gas, but they've set up a special purpose vehicle to undertake this particular project. Commitment authorization. Mr. Speaker, we have visited almost all the agencies under the ministry. Everywhere we go, the major problem with almost all the agencies has to do with commitment authorization. Most of their projects have been delayed because there's a huge delay at finance to release this commitment authorization. So I was not surprised when the report was presented to us, and it was clear, based on their performance report that they presented to us, that they've not met almost all their targets. Almost all their targets have not been met, Mr. Speaker. So I will entreat the Ministry of Finance that this issue of commitment authorization, delays in commitment authorization, be looked at very critically. IPP renegotiations. In the 2025 budget, Mr. Speaker, it was announced that they've made savings of $250 million. It was repeated in the 2026 budget. When they came to meet us, it became clear that even the document that has to come to Parliament for Parliament to deliberate on has not been presented to Parliament. But they had gone ahead to announce in the budget that they've made some savings. It was just 2 days ago that we got hints that the report has been presented to Parliament. But it has already been announced in the budget that they are making a savings of $250 million. So I plead with the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Finance to collaborate very well to ensure that next year's performance will be better than what we have here. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kabiru, but be snappy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the first observation, IPP renegotiation. Mr. Speaker, we do know as of record that as part of the energy sector recovery program, the IPP renegotiation was commenced under the leadership of Yao Osei-Mensah. Mr. Speaker, this initiative was born out of the recognition that we had entered into power purchase agreement or an agreement that we were of the view that the amount per unit of power was not realistic, and also because of the onerous responsibility on Ghanaian government to pay some of the take-or-pay contracts that we had engaged in. Mr. Speaker, today, if the Minister of Minister of Energy is reporting that the process is completed and we are making some savings of $250 million, Mr. Speaker, it's worthy of commendation. The only issue which this report has also noted is the lack of legal enforceability of this particular amount, because you cannot tell the good people of Ghana that we are saving $250 million from the renegotiation of this independent power power purchase agreement with these IPPs, when you cannot really actually have the ability to enforce the savings. So, Mr. Speaker, I would urge the ministry responsible for power and grid transition, energy and grid transition, to come to this house, because it's a major issue for us as a government that our power agreements are we're bloated, for the lack of better word, Mr. Speaker. And if we are making some savings, we need to have means of ensuring enforcement. Mr. Speaker, the last issue that the committee also noted is the fact that Cabinet had approved the agreement for subsequent submission to Parliament. We've not yet received this yet. And I think that's the point my leader and deputy ranking of the committee made. It is not proper that the people responsible are not yet even aware of this particular process. You've not brought it before Parliament, yet you are making news of it outside the chamber of the House. When, in the end, our scrutiny shows something different, the Ghanaian people will be losing trust in us, then we need to ensure that we don't put the cart before the horse. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I also urge us we support and approve this report.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate. The question is, all those in favor that motion listed 20 in today's order paper be approved, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Motion listed 20 in today's order paper is hereby adopted. Yes. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion number 21 on today's order paper. Mr. Speaker, this is a procedural motion, so I so move.
Yes. Honorable Abuaje.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, motion listed 21, page 9 has been moved, and the ranking has seconded the motion. With your indulgence, since it is a procedural motion, I'll put the question, and the question is, all those in favor that motion listed 21 is adopted, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Now, let's take the substantive motion listed 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion that this Honorable House adopts a report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee report of the Volta River Authority for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, I will submit the report and request that the Hansa Department will cover the entirety of the report as being read, as I read only the conclusion since there's no time. Mr. Speaker, the committee is satisfied that the statement has been prepared and presented to Parliament in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act 2016 at 921 and Audit Committee guidance for 2023. The committee recommends to the House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Volta River Authority for the year 2025. I so submitted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Abuaje. Abuaje, hold on. Let me. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I respectfully, since we have a lot of motions to be taken, I'll plead with the House that we can do 1-1 so that we'll not waste too much. Even the Economic Committee to want to take their motion. So the contributors, we can do 1-1 on every motion. This has nothing to do with leadership.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know where Honorable Achampong is coming from, because for you to be on your feet to make such statement, you should engage. When you get engaged and we have that's not how it's been done. So, Mr. Speaker, he is completely out of order.
Yes, Honorable Abuaje, can you second the motion for us?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I second the motion, but in doing so, Mr. Speaker, as for VRA, I think we were satisfied with much of their work, but our issue was with the fire that happens at their end. We will find out that during the fire incident, there was not much enough fire tender at their premises. So they were able to inform us that they've put things in place. Going forward, that will not happen again. But I will urge the government to make sure that all electrical installations in this country has a proper fire tender in place, so that we will not see what occurred at VRA, between VRA and Gridco again. In doing so, Mr. Speaker, I urge this House to adopt this report for the annual statement of the Audit Committee of the Volta River Authority for the year 2024. Thank you.
Honorable members, the motion which was moved by the chairman has been seconded by the ranking. It is now before all of us for consideration. Yes, my brother.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the motion number 22 in today's order paper. Mr. Speaker, the meeting with VRA indicated that VRA's performance has been was satisfactory. However, one key audit finding, which is the separation between VRA and GridCo, was thoroughly discussed. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that although VRA had made progress in completing the separation and transfer of assets to GridCo, the rebanding of the two entities, the formal transfer and documentation of some properties, particularly in the NEDCO operational area, remains outstanding. The committee noted that the delays in completing the asset transfer process could create uncertainty regarding ownership and asset accountability. The committee therefore recommended that management expedite action in the outstanding legal administrative process relating to the separation of the two organizations. Mr. Speaker, in all, we all know that VRA is foundational to the nation's socio-economic development, driving economic transformation through reliable electricity generation, power export to the neighboring countries, and environmental stewardship. It is foundational to national energy security and stability. On the basis of above, I appeal to the House to adopt this report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take the last one from Honorable Osei-Mensah. My brother, can you put off the microphone for me? Yes, thank you.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker. I rise to comment on the report of the Committee of Energy on the annual report or annual statement of the Audit Committee of VRA for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, one clear issue that came out of the report at paragraph 5.1 speaks to outstanding receivables and debt recovery by the Volta Health Services Limited. It is instructive to note that they had an outstanding bill of about 24 million, which took a lot of time for them to be able to collect the amount up to about 2.8 million. The challenge is, how did the authority accumulate that number of outstanding debt? It is important that they strengthen their debt collection mechanism or they reduce the piling of debt, because these are money, if available to the organization or the authority, it will go a long way in improving their service conditions. Mr. Speaker, similarly under paragraph 5.3, concerning unsupported receivables exceeding credit period under Akosumbo Hotels Limited, the report is indicating that about sum of 121,000 was also outstanding from their books. And the committee was informed that Akosumbo Hotel have significantly again reduced the receivables to a paltry 2,800. It's all about improving on our debt collection mechanisms. With this, Mr. Speaker, I believe VRA has shown that they have the capacity to run our energy sector, and they are doing that commendably. We commend the leadership of VRA, and I ask and urge this House to adopt this committee. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable, you are a member of the committee, eh?
Speaker, I'm a friend to the committee.
A friend to the committee.
That is so.
Very
Thank
well.
you.
Thank
And the
you.
benevolence of the chairman. And the
Thank you. Honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, all those in favor that motion listed 22 in today's order paper be adopted, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Are we taking 23?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to make application for me? Okay.
Yes, Champon.
Mr. Speaker, we have 54, motion number 54. That one is 2024. So we need to take it first before we come to take that of the 2025. 23, 24 is 2024 report. So I want to first take 2024 before 2025.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have copies of the report on the Tema Oil Refinery. That is motion number 54. So I don't know, Deputy Whip, if you can talk to the chairman, we can do the others whilst we look for the report of the motion 54.
Mr. Speaker, it is rather motion item 55. If you permit us, we'll take the motion 24 and then 55, since we have the 2024 and 2025. In fact, it flows together. And so, with the indulgence of the House, we'll take the two separate reports, but we'll take it together.
But Chairman, I think the application Honorable Champon made was just to allow the House to follow. If the 2024 one has not been done and we are now doing 2025, it's a better. So he wanted us to follow sequentially. So I think what he's saying is right. But I think the report is loaded on the console. Is that all right? It's loaded.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have a problem with motion 55 and 24. We have the report. It was the case that the 54 that we didn't have, but 55, which is the Ghana Gas, that's 2024, and 24, which is the same Ghana Gas, 2025. So the proposal from the chairman, it wouldn't be bad if he present the 2024 as suggested by the Deputy Whip. Then you move to the 2025, and then we can follow it through that way. I don't think it's a problem.
Very well. So the way we will present it to make things movable. So let's hear you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion number 55 on today's order paper.
55,
55 on today's order paper on page 16. That this House, Honorable House, adopts the report of the Committee on Energy on annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Company for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, as I moved, I also present your committee's report for the same year. Mr. Speaker, I would ask that the Hansa Department will capture the entirety of the report as being read, as I read only the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the committee recognized the efforts made by Ghana Gas Limited Company to address the identified deficiencies and improve operational and governance structures. The committee encourages the company to pursue the implementation of the outstanding recommendations. The committee, in view of the foregoing, recommends to the House to adopt this report or the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Limited Company for the period January to December 2024. I so submit.
Thank you so much. Honorable Ajibwaje.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion for the audit report for Ghana Gas. Mr. Speaker, at the committee level, we find out some minor issues with Ghana Gas, and they were able to explain it. But what other thing was, they bought a plant where they have a property, plant and equipment that has remained fixed. The asset has been devalued, but it has not been fixed all this while. So they were able to explain to us that it's not that they don't want to use it, but it's because when the need comes before they will be able to use it. So, Mr. Speaker, the other things were just minor issues, which they were able to explain themselves, and it was resolved at the committee level. So, in so doing, I urge this House to adopt the report for the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Company Limited for the year ended 31st December 2024 and then 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honourable members. The motion listed 55 has been moved by the chairman, and the ranking has graciously also seconded the motion. It is now before the House for consideration.
Sorry, you can.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion number 24 on page 10 of today's order paper.
It's 55,
page
please.
55. I rise to support the motion number 55. Yes, the 2024. During the meeting, some issues were observed, and one key findings has to do with procurement and contract management deficiencies. The audit committee reviewed the audit report concerns relating to procurement processes, including inadequate procurement planning, incomplete contract files, delayed contract performance, and insufficient documentation of justification for certain procurement methods. The committee observed that some contracts lack complete supporting documents, such as delivery confirmations, performance certifications, or evidence of competitive processes. The committee stressed that adherence to procurement laws is essential to ensuring value for money, operational efficiency, and reduce exposure to penalties. Mr. Speaker, apart from this finding, generally the performance was very good, and we all know the importance of Ghana gas to this economy. Ghana gas currently supplies 84% of the fuel consumed by Ghana's thermal plants. This drastically reduces the country's reliance on expensive fuel imports, saving an estimated $1.3 billion annually. On the basis of this, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House to accept this report. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Osei-Mensah.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second this motion to adopt the audit report of Ghana Gas for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, the report indicates a lot of internal control weaknesses, and that is the reason why we do audit, so that when these are revealed and comes to light, the institutions are able to correct them. Issues around internal controls and operational systems, we had procurement and documentation weaknesses amongst others. Fortunately, when the management of Ghana Gas appeared before the committee, they had taken a lot of steps to address most of the inefficiencies and the challenges. And the committee actually imposed on them that we wouldn't want to see a repetition of these things come the year 2025. And I'm sure that as we review the audit report for 2025 to 2026, we would have seen a lot of significant recommendations being implemented by Ghana Gas. All that we're seeking to do as a house, which is this parliament, is to strengthen state institutions to be efficient in the way they do their things. Ghana Gas has come to stay. Ghana Gas provides an essential service to our energy sector and our energy delivery system. And it is important that as a house we support them. All that we urge the agency is that they should continue to abide by the rules, by the Public Financial Management Act, so that we don't see a lot of these infractions coming again. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I want to comment for this House to adopt this particular motion. Thank you.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, all those in favour that motion listed 55 be adopted, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, it's obvious the ayes have it. The motion listed 55 is carried. Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the procedural motion, item 23, on today's order paper, page 10.
Item
23 for the 2025.
Very well, very well.
I so move.
Yes, Honorable Abuaje.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, motion 23 is procedural, and it has been moved by the chairman and seconded by the ranking. I will indulge you to put the question since it's just a procedural. And the question is, all those in favor that motion 23 be adopted, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Motion listed 23 is carried. Now, Chairman, let's take the 24.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move motion item 24 on today's order paper, page 10, that this Honorable House adopts the report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Limited Company for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, as I move the motion, I also submit your committee's report and request that the Hansa Department will capture the entirety of the report as being read as I read the conclusion part. Mr. Speaker, the committee acknowledges the efforts of management of the Ghana National Gas Company Limited to address the issues raised and implement corrective measures to strengthen the company's operational efficiency, financial management, and governance systems. The efforts may need to be sustained to ensure that all outstanding issues are fully and successfully resolved. The committee accordingly recommends to the House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Company Limited for the year ended 31st December 2025. I so submit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abuaje.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I've already stated in the 2020 report of the Ghana Gas, the Speaker, all were minor issues, but they've taken steps to address them. With the issue of inaccurate exchange rates that apply to foreign currency transactions, we're able to inform them that moving forward, they should ensure that contractual negotiations with suppliers accurately reflect the official Bank of Ghana exchange rate to help prevent the anomalies that normally occur on the exchange rate issues. Aside that, Mr. Speaker, everything on the Ghana gas was, it's okay. So I'll urge this House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Company Limited for the year ended 31st December 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the motion which was moved by the chairman has been seconded by the ranking. It is now before the House for consideration.
We should stop.
Yeah, let me take one. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the motion number 24 on page 10 of today's order paper. Mr. Speaker, it's important to know that most of the issues raised in the 2024 reports were corrected by the year-end 2025. One issue came up, and that was faulty equipment in the warehouse that was not fixed for a long time. Mr. Speaker, we advise that this should be fixed and then reported back to us. On the whole, the committee acknowledges the efforts of management of the Ghana National Gas Limited to address issues raised and implement corrective measures to strengthen the company's operational efficiency, financial management and governance systems. The efforts need to be sustained to ensure that all outstanding issues are fully and successfully resolved. The committee accordingly recommends to the House to adopt this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes. Let me give it to Honorable Collins.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. The issues with Ghana Gas with their 2025 audit reports are very simple. Fortunately, most of the irregularities that were discovered in 2024 were rectified in the 2025 report. And so when we met them, close to about 95% of all the issues that had come up earlier on had been taken care of. So I would like to commend Ghana Gas for heeding to our council when they met us for the 2024 reports. I think one of the major issues that they brought up was the issue about they being sidelined with regards to the GPP2, where government has put together an SPV to spearhead the construction of the second gas processing plant. But apart from that, Mr. Speaker, the audit reports as received for the 2025 was quite well prepared. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honourable members. At the conclusion of the debate, all those in favor that motion listed 24 be adopted, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 24 in today's order paper is adopted. Yes, Chairman. Yes, Honorable Champong.
Mr. Speaker, Committee of Economy, they have a motion, the Economy Committee.
Yes.
And the ranking member has another assignment. So we've agreed that we'll take motion 33, so after that we'll come back to do energy, so that the ranking member can leave the House.
So, honorable members, respectfully come with me to page 13. Page 13, item listed 33. Motion by the chairman of the Development.
Thank you,
Committee.
Mr. Speaker, for this great opportunity to move that this honorable House adopt the report of the Committee on Economy and Development on the annual public debt report for the 2025 fiscal year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move. By doing so, Mr. Speaker, I will plead with the Hazards Department to fully capture the entire report as having been read fully. I will just go through the introduction, skip the background, outline the committee's observations and reports, and the observation and recommendations.
Chairman.
And finally,
Chairman, have you distributed the reports?
Yes, right now, Speaker.
Is it on the console?
Speaker, we have enough copies to give it to honorable members.
Well, I'm told it has been on the console for a couple of days, and because we're not taking, they took it off. So we are asking that they reload it, whilst the report is being, the chairman is moving the motion. Yes, so chairman can go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of the requirement of Section 72 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, as amended, the annual public debt report of the 2025 financial year was laid in Parliament on Tuesday, 26 May 2026, by the Honorable Minister for Finance, Dr. Keso Atuban-Forson. The report was referred by the Right Honorable Speaker to the Committee on Economy and Development for consideration and report. Mr. Speaker, The committee made this observation, but for the sake of time, I'll move to the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, in concluding, having critically examined the report, the committee concludes that the annual public debt report for the 2025 financial year represents significant progress made in restoring debt sustainability and macroeconomic stability. The committee observes improvement in key economic indicators, including lower inflation, stronger economic growth, improved fiscal performance, exchange rate stability, increased international reserves, and enhanced investor confidence following the successful implementation of the debt restructuring program. Mr. Speaker, accordingly, the committee recommends that Parliament adopt 2025 annual public debt report and urges the government to continue implementing measures aimed at ensuring long-term debt sustainability, enhance fiscal resilience, enforce oversight of contingent liability, and reduce external economic risk. Mr. Speaker, the committee further recommends that the Minister of Finance continues to improve regular updates to Parliament on the implementation of the debt restructuring program and measures being undertaken to maintain a sustainable public debt trajectory. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore recommends the Minister for Finance fulfilling its statutory obligations under the Section 72 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, as amended, and accordingly
Honorable
urges
Afo,
the
can
House
you move to the conclusion?
adopt this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Very well. Thank you. So, honorable members, the chairman has moved the motion. Let me now revert to the ranking.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to comment on this report. And Mr. Speaker, I think that the leadership on the majority side should give my chairman some more room to express himself. There are a lot of things in the report he wants to talk about. Mr. Speaker, I have 4 quick comments from this side as I second this motion. First is the fact that this debt management report we are looking at focuses primarily on debt to GDP ratio as a basis for analyzing our debt. And Mr. Speaker, in the report, it suggests that debt to GDP ratio is reduced from about 61% to about 44%, which is a good thing. And it states that the reason primarily is the appreciation of the cedi in the year 2025. But Mr. Speaker, it does not account for the fact that the MPP government negotiated about $5 billion of debt cancellation and another about $4 billion savings in cash flows on our debt stock. This is a very major reason for which we are seeing these good numbers, dropping from 61 to 44. And I think it's important that credit is given where credit is due. That was about 98% of the debt restructuring program. And Mr. Speaker, the second argument I want to make is that the debt sustainability analysis approach that is adopted in Ghana's debt management report, and it's not about the NDC, the approach that is used is a bit inadequate because it focuses primarily, as I mentioned, on the debt to GDP ratio. But nobody pays their debt to their GDP. Mr. Speaker, we should rather be spending some more time analyzing our revenue to debt servicing ratio because you really pay your debt with your revenue. Or on the external debt side, looking more at our export earnings and comparing it to our debt servicing. Or perhaps even comparing debt servicing to tax revenue generally. And so as we move forward as a republic, Mr. Speaker, it's important to improve the DSA approach that we use for our debt management report. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the scope itself is a bit too narrow. You will find that contingent liabilities are not accounted for in the debt analysis we are doing. The liabilities at state-owned enterprises are not accounted for. Guarantees that are given are not accounted for. And so it gives us a very narrow view of what our debt picture is. And we always get surprised at the end of the day. Mr. Speaker, as I support my chairman's motion, a few recommendations from this side of the House. We need a broader debt sustainability analysis, as I've mentioned. a broader scope in terms of what type of debt we are talking about. Mr. Speaker, we don't have to rely on cedi appreciation as a basis to say our debt stock has reduced. Because as you observe, in 2025, when the cedi appreciated by about 43%, as a result of the pumping that the Bank of Ghana has been doing, it appeared as though the situation was getting better. Just yesterday, when the Bank of Ghana published the new debt numbers, because of the about 8% depreciation we have seen year to date, our debt stock is gone up by about 47 billion Ghana cedis. So if you rely on appreciation to applaud yourself that the debt situation has gotten better, small depreciation, Mr. Speaker, and we are now having about a 40 billion Ghana cedis increase in our debt stock. By the way, this is apart from the nearly $1 billion that we approved for the government yesterday. For those who didn't follow yesterday we approved about $1 billion for the government. That will come and add to this. And already the IMF is predicting that we're going to end the year on about 50% to GDP. So it is important that we keep an eye on it. Very finally, Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned at the beginning, the MPP government restructured about 98% in the pool of debt that was available for restructuring. 2% was outstanding. Between January 2025 and now, we're getting to 2 years. That 2%, the government is yet to conclude the restructuring. And it is important that they finish that one so that we can see the full benefit. Because if we don't, we'll still be deceiving ourselves that our debt has gone down when it hasn't. And very finally, Mr. Speaker, the most important thing is to get the domestic resource mobilizing measures to work so that you don't have to resort to these debts to fund your programs. If they don't work, you'll be back to square one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the motion.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the motion which was moved by the chairman has been seconded by the ranking. It is now the property of the House. Yes, Honorable Member Evra. Yes.
Speaker, my senior colleague and I have agreed that we are taking 3 each and then 1 from leadership.
How many?
3 each and then 1 from leadership.
I beg of you, 3 is too much. We have too many reports to take.
Speaker, so what is your consideration?
I was going to 2 including leadership.
Oh, Speaker, that respectfully.
I beg of you.
We can do 2 and then 1 from leadership. Yes. It has to do with public debt. Yes, I understand. Speaker, respectfully, we can do 2 and then 1 from leadership. Thank you.
Is that okay with us?
Speaker, we agreed 3-3 and you have reviewed it. It's okay.
Well. But please, 5 minutes each. Table, please. Nobody should go beyond 5 minutes. Yes. Yes, Honorable Ejura.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also contribute to motion 33 that is being discussed. Right Honorable Speaker, I believe the report on the public debt report for the year 2025, Right Speaker, is a refreshing one. And as has been announced, when we met, we had some refreshing news, Right Honorable Speaker, to understand that the country's public debt, Right Honorable Speaker, reduced from 726.8 billion in 2024 to 641.1 billion, indicates that yes, the prudent measures being implemented by the finance minister and this government is indeed yielding dividends. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, we know from the history of this country what the discussions had been initially on the rising nature of the debt of this country. And so therefore, the indication that there has been a reduction is very much refreshing because it increases the confidence that the international body has in the economy of Ghana. On page 7, with regards to the credit ratings, right, Honorable Speaker, it is clear and worth celebrating that a international rating organizations such as Fitch has upgraded Ghana's rating from a restricted D, which is RD, a restricted default of RD, to B- with a stable outlook. And Moody's, Honorable Speaker, has also improved in its ratings. Moody's Investor Service upgraded the country's rating from CAA2 to CAA1. And lastly, S&P Global's rating also increased Ghana's one from SD, which is select default, to CCC+. This is refreshing because it boosts confidence in the economy of Ghana. Honorable Speaker, it is also worth commending that this government didn't relegate the implementation of the debt restructuring program. It indicates that we inherited an economy, and no matter the program, we're bent on focusing and ensuring that it yields dividends, and that is worth commending. The report, in sum, Honorable Speaker, has indicated a macroeconomic stability. We made mention of inflation being improved, and the reserve of this country also gaining grounds. From the report on paragraph 454.2, Ghana's cedi appreciated also by 40.7%. And on the reserve, it is refreshing also to understand and to learn from the report that our gross international reserve increased from 9.1 billion, that is 4.1 months of import cover, to 13.8 billion, which makes up 5.7 months of import cover. It aids planning, and also dealings with the international organizations such as the World Bank and IMF and others. So, Honorable Speaker, in sum, I believe that it is refreshing. We must commend the Ministry of Finance, the Governor of Bank of Ghana, and all the measures, fiscal measures being put in place to ensure that we do not derail, but economically we make gains to ensure that we progress as a country. Thank you for the opportunity, and I call on the House to adopt this motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yes. Honorable Osei-Mensah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on this your Committee on Economy and Development on the annual public debt report for 2025 financial year. Mr. Speaker, it is right that when it comes to public debt position, it is very critical for our national economic stability. Mr. Speaker, Section 72 of the PFMA Act is what mandates your committee or the Ministry of Finance to present this public debt position for our consideration. In the year 2025, Mr. Speaker, the report is indicating varied reasons upon which our debt stock has reduced. But importantly, the reduction in the debt stock, the conversation is whether it is sustainable or there are other measures that we need to put in place to ensure that it doesn't become a 9-day wonder. Mr. Speaker, let me refer you to paragraph 5.2, speaking to the implementation of the debt restructuring program that laid the foundation for us to be where we are today in terms of the debt stock. The committee reports that the committee noted the significant progress that was struck as a result of the implementation of the debt restructuring program, which was launched in December 2022. Mr. Speaker, many a times in this House, we talk about economic stability, we talk about our debt stock going down, but we fail to acknowledge the foundation upon which the achievements have been built upon. So if we don't become magnanimous with efforts that others have put in place to put this country where we are, then at the end of the day, we are being disingenuous to the good people of Ghana. So credit should go to the governance of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who spearheaded the restructuring of the debt program that has given us the stability in this area that we're talking about. Mr. Speaker, A key component of our debt stock sustainability is our revenue mobilization. The report indicates the challenges the government faces in revenue mobilization. Under paragraph 5.3, we have it here that the committee observed that although the economy recorded strong macroeconomic recovery in 2025, revenue mobilization challenges persisted. The total revenue and grants reduced, representing 50% of GDP, fell short of revised target by about 5.1 billion. Mr. Speaker, if we are not very careful in ensuring that we strengthen our revenue mobilization base, this issue of debt sustainability will become a mirage. Government should put in place strong policies that will enhance revenue mobilization. Because if you look at this report, and this is consistent with what we are even seeing in 2026, the revenue targets that are set vis-a-vis its achievement, and this week, I'm sure by tomorrow, the Minister of Finance is coming to this house to speak to us about the mid-year budget. It is important that government strengthens revenue mobilization for the year 2026 to deal with our public debt management. Mr. Speaker, let me go to my final point, which speaks to our vulnerability to external economic shocks. The committee observed under 5.6.1 that despite significant improvement in our macroeconomic indicators, the economy remains vulnerable to external economic shocks. In 2025, if you check the stability of the cedi, where the cedi went down to around 10.4, 10.5, as we speak today, the cedi is trading against the US dollar in excess of 11.5, 11.6. So it means that we are still vulnerable to international shocks, economic shocks. And that tells us that the achievements that were recorded in 2025 within our public debt position is not likely to be the same if you look at it post-2025, 2026 to 2027. It all speaks to how we are managing our numbers in terms of our exchange rate, because most of the debt are foreign denominated and in dollars. And so it is important that government addresses the external vulnerabilities of this country. Mr. Speaker, without more, I agree that government is a continuum. What is being discussed today as 2025
Yes. Yes. Yes, Honorable Dr.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in any serious economic jurisdiction, what we are discussing, what we are commenting this morning is extremely important. And for that matter, it has to be given the needed attention by all relevant stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, we always seem to demonstrate just a cliche, depending on where one is, whether in opposition or in government. I think for once, we need to take this debt to our GDP management very serious and do proper discussions in a context that we can find a long-lasting solution to its problems. Mr. Speaker, it is true that our debt to GDP has been drastically reduced. But then, one cannot talk about it without considering the background and what we have to do as a country. Whether we accept it or not, it is true, and it is a fact, that a few years back, the whole world was hit with economic crisis. And that plunged the globe and Ghana into a situation where
productivity and market activities were impaired. That for the first time in the history of this country, civil servants and public servants were asked to stay home, but they were paid. Private sector had to sack over 40,000 workers. Payee corporate taxes were highly reduced to the extent that we had revenue shortfall of about 12 billion. Mr. Speaker, our main financing arms include debt financing and revenue. So government inevitably had to rely profoundly on that financing. And because we had market impaired and productivity impaired, our GDP was not growing, but we're financing using debt. So our debt to GDP went to over 80%. But this is where the love story begins. The then government, as prudent as it was able to manage the economy to the extent that by the time our brothers took over this economy, our debt to GDP had reduced to about 61.8. Honorable, please, when we are talking, I kept quiet. Mr. Speaker, this statement I'm making, you are suffering from unconscious incompetence. Take your time. Mr. Speaker, this comment I'm making, please, Mr. Speaker, can we control the House, please? This comment I'm making was a statement emphatically made by Dr. Atuforsin in his first personal budget statement in this House. Go and check. It's not my statement. Inflation rate has been reduced from 54.1 to 22.9. GDP from about 0.4 or 0.5 when the world grew negative 3.3, had grown to 5.6 before they took over, higher than 2016. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to put these background or issues in the right context because we talk about that to GDP where we are today. I will not run away from the fact that Dr. Atuforsin's tenure, they've been able to continue that good work and stabilize the economy. That I will not run away from that. But there is this issue to consider. Resilience is an issue. Going forward, we've not done anything to show that when there's similar crisis, we are not even going to get worse results than MPP government even was able to do. Two, Mr. Speaker, translation of this into secondary macro performance as a country, we don't see anything. Now they want to even borrow to pay free SHS. Now they want to borrow to do things that will not earn us any sustainable results. Mr. Speaker, they are talking about 24-hour economy. They are talking about big push. The last time I checked, big push was in the collect. Go and check. They pushed it. There's nothing, no results. They don't even.
Thank you. Thank you. Why?
Nobody should stop. If this is what they want to do, no, we will speak. Speaker. No, say he's coming to speak. He is coming to speak. If they will not be tolerant and listen at the food, they will not be.
No. Honorable Dr. Stephen Lamoa. Honorable Dr. Stephen Lamoa. Please. What interjection? No. Honorable member for Boston from why? Honorable member for Brekum, please. I'm personally taken aback because I didn't see anything that you allowed this. Oh. Honorable member for Brekum. Honorable member for Brekum. Honorable leaders, indulge me to acknowledge another school at the public gallery. We have Abusua Institute of Rural and Democratic Development. Abusua Institute of Rural and Democratic Development. Their leader is Dr. Anania Jane, who is the executive director, and the school, Honorable Doctor, and the school is located in the Okaikwe North constituency. I'm told you are 25 in number. Lastly, but not the least, we have the Police Model Basic School. Police Model Basic School. Their leader is Maswell Akrasi Sapong. Maswell Akrasi Sapong, who is a teacher, and the school is located in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. I understand your number is 66. On behalf of the House, we welcome you and we wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. Thank you very much. So, honorable members, you take the leadership. Yes.
Speaker, respectfully, I will yield to Honorable Kabiru. But Speaker, let me just make this general call that as members of Parliament, we respectfully have to indulge and accommodate each other when we are given opportunities to talk. Sometimes when we talk across, it triggers other emotions and we end up saying all manner of things. I'm taking this opportunity to pray with my colleagues from whichever divide that we should learn to listen in quietude, and that if you have any reason to counter, we can do so. And we are in opposition, we understand so. If there is this platform, we can be causing more problems. It's not supposed to be like that. Respectfully, I'm calling on all of us. Speaker, you can see this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. There is no time I would see anybody from the front bench, and I'll be doing this. So, Speaker, I'm calling upon once again calling upon my colleagues that we should respect ourselves. We should try and respect ourselves. If we have any attitudes we should try and leave them outside. And when we come here, we come and behave very well and go back home safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is a very important call, and we are all colleagues. And I always say we have to be tolerant. At times, it's just a matter of trying to pull one's, but please, let's know the level that we'll be traveling to. So once again, Honorable Jali, your call is in the right direction. I thank you so much. Yes, so you said you are yielding to Honorable Kabilo. Yes, Honorable Kabilo. Honorable Seka. No, we term it, and now. Oh, I beg. Yes. Yes, Honorable Kabilo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I take the privilege to make one or two comments on the report for the year 2025 covering Ghana debt stock. Mr. Speaker, the report has drawn our attention to the fact that in nominal terms, our debt stock is around 641.1 billion Ghana cedis, which is about 61.3 billion. And Mr. Speaker, what is important
is to note that, which other speakers have stated, the reasons for the reduction in the debt stock. Mr. Speaker, out of the 3 reasons that have been stated in the report, the first reason is the appreciation of the cedi. The second reason is the debt exchange or debt restructuring program. And the third reason is fiscal consolidation. These are the 3 reasons that we have been told in this report is accounting for the reduction in the debt stock and bringing our debt to GDP to some 44% of percent. Mr. Speaker, we need to put on record that behind this particular number, the details, we must put on record that for the year under review, the government has borrowed 89.9 billion. 84.9 billion is what the government borrowed for the year under review. And if you doubt it, go back to the report by the Minister of Finance that talks to our debt reporting. The Minister of Finance report, that is the Public Debt Statistic Bulletin. You would get the figure that I'm referring to. So for the year under review, 84.7 billion was borrowed. Also, Mr. Speaker, we need to also note that the year under review, there was debt servicing. And the debt servicing for that year was 77 billion. So in effect, Mr. Speaker, for the year under review, there was a net borrowing from the report, from the government own report. Mr. Speaker, but that is not even the issue. If you look at the domestic, debt is divided into 2, the domestic debt and the external debt. Mr. Speaker, external debt is the only place or is the only handle that we are having some respite. When it comes to the domestic debt, the government continues to borrow and borrow and borrow every single day, Mr. Speaker. And that should be worrying, because if you continue to borrow and you max the borrowing by the appreciation of your cedi, you will get into difficulty in the event of a crisis. In the event we have a cedi or a currency crisis, you will get into difficulty. And that's the point our ranking member stated, that if your only remedy, if your only solution, if your only way you are managing the debt stock is because there's an appreciation of a currency, which is due to a confluence of several factors, Mr. Speaker, in the event of currency crisis, this country will find itself in difficulty. And we are urging the Minister responsible for finance that we should not be anchoring our debt to GDP on the fact that our cedi is appreciating, because in either event, a currency crisis can lead us to a difficult situation that we found ourselves before the debt exchange program. Mr. Speaker, the next issue that this report has drawn our attention to, which I need to highlight, of course, the previous government took the fall. Even in this House, we've had speakers upon speakers blaming the then government for the debt exchange program or the restructuring of the debt. Mr. Speaker, in this report, the government is commending itself, the government is praising itself, and we are being told to accept that story as the true state of affairs, that we are having some good numbers because there was a debt restructuring program. Mr. Speaker, we all know the politics they made with the debt restructuring program. Now, as I've always argued, the results of such a program is now the cornerstone of their economic success. And that is the irony in this whole discourse, that the thing that you bastardize is now the cornerstone of your macroeconomic stability, is the cornerstone of the good thing that you think you are now doing. Mr. Speaker, the last issue that I want to handle is the issue of revenue mobilization. The report has highlighted the failure of government to meet its revenue. Mr. Speaker, this is something that the Minister of Finance should come to this out and address, because you are doing revenue to GDP. You are doing revenue of 224.9 million Ghana cedi for the year. Mr. Speaker, this is a failure of policy, especially in revenue management, and the government must do something about revenue mobilization, because we cannot continue to borrow ourselves into economic management. Borrowing that they have said is not economic management. They are continuing with the borrowing, and they have to stop them. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Am I putting the question, or you want to speak?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to your committee's reports. Mr. Speaker, many of our friends are turning to be prophets of doom. Things that have not happened is what they are talking about. But the report speaks for itself. You all seen the good news recorded in this report. We left a loan portfolio of 120 billion. By the end of the 8-year term, you move it to 748 billion Ghana cedis. Debt to GDP ratio moved to over 100%. When you were living, it was around 61%. And now it's 44.7%. And instead of praising the government, you are here saying, and then what you did is giving us all these important indicators. Mr. Speaker, it's about economic discipline. The fiscal consolidation the minister is doing, it now have a handle on the economy. When he brought commitment authorization, people were talking about it. When he set up value for money office, people were talking about it. There have been discipline in the system. And this is giving us all these positive results. And we want to spread heads over this. Commend the government. Well, when we took the inflation from 61%, if we are not disciplined, it will move to 100% again. Because of discipline, fiscal consolidation, that's why you are getting all these results. So don't say the DDEP that you did is creating all these positive indicators. What about those people who died? What about those people who died, the pensioners? So, Mr. Speaker, governance is continuing. We have a government which is putting in place positive measures. We have a country to run. Let's all come together and support the ministry to achieve its set goals. They are talking about revenue challenges. Today,
it is important that
this morning, we had a meeting with the finance minister.
in this house,
and the
we continuously educate ourselves. I do agree that it is a statement, and most statements by ministers are governed by Order 91. But you have forgotten that this House passed the Public Financial Management Act. And the Public Financial Management Act is the legislation that has directed that the minister comes to this House to present a mid-year review. And in that act, Section 28, it itemizes the things that he must come and account for. Some of those may be contentious. Some of those may provoke debate. But we passed a law and said he must come and present on all those matters. So you cannot restrict him to only the provisions of Order 91. So go and read the Public Financial Management Act and be guided by that one.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, we're happy the Finance Minister is here. My main concern is that on the government side, I see a lot of empty seats. I'm in opposition. Mr. Speaker, this tells us how government side takes this budget. Mr. Speaker, all ministers are supposed to be here. Mr. Speaker, I can count the number of cabinet ministers here. Mr. Speaker, cabinet ministers are supposed to be here and listen to the finance minister. But Mr. Speaker, it's okay. We are here to listen to him. If they have decided not to come in their numbers, it's fine. We have picked the signal But the leader of government business has given an indication. So some of the facts will be contentious. We hope that the finance minister will record and address this house on the matters arising out of the Nkukon Ketenkete, which according to the Greek minister, the beneficiaries are eating the fowl. Like what happened to the confirmed. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious matter we hope you would address.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when the Akoko Nketekete project started and they were distributing the day-old, Honorable Afenyo-Markin failed to take advantage, and so he of the day-old chicks. Others went and took the day-old chicks. Now they have matured, and they are now Akoko Nkesie Kasie. And when they prepare their light soup and take, he's worried and complaining all over the place. Please, the whole object of Akoko and Kitikiti is so that they will mature into big beds, and then they will be sold and they will be utilized for light soup. So if they are being utilized for light soup, now what is your problem? What is your problem? Mr. Speaker, I think on this very light note, I want to urge colleagues, let's allow the process to continue.
Yes, honorable members, on your behalf, I invite the Minister of Finance to make the statement.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of His Excellency the President, President John Dramani Mahama, I have the humble duty to present the Media Fiscal Policy Review of the 2026 Budget and Economic Policy of Government. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed with this Media Fiscal Policy Review, I wish to acknowledge the devastating floods that struck part of our country last month. Right Honorable Speaker, as honorable members will recall, the floods claimed lives, displaced families, destroyed businesses, and caused extensive damage to public infrastructure. Ghana was not alone. Similar floods also affected Nigeria, La Côte d'Ivoire, and Sierra Leone, highlighting the growing flood risk across West African coastline and the effect of climate change. Mr. Speaker, government responded swiftly by visiting the hardest hit communities, releasing funds for emergency relief, and launching a nationwide cleanup exercise. On the direction of His Excellency the President, I am making available additional resources for ongoing dredging and construction of critical drains in the affected areas. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President has directed the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources to develop a comprehensive and permanent solution to flooding in Accra and other flood-prone areas across the country. The necessary funding for the implementation of this permanent solution will be provided in the 2027 budget and the medium term. Mr. Speaker, I stand before this House with a deep sense of pride and confidence born out of strong performance in the last 1.5 years in the management of the Ghanaian economy. Right Honorable Speaker, this confidence is grounded in sound policy, in evidence, in measurable performance, and in credible data, and most importantly, in the lived experience of Ghanaians who endured a profound economic crisis and are now standing on firmer ground. Mr. Speaker, Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, requires the Minister for Finance to present to Parliament a mid-year fiscal policy review not later than 31st of July of each year. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here in fulfillment of this legal and constitutional obligation. Mr. Speaker, today I am not here to seek a supplementary estimate. The 2026 appropriations remains unchanged. Right Honorable Speaker, however, we are undertaking a strategic realignment of expenditures within the existing appropriations. Mr. Speaker, government also affirms the following macroeconomic target for 2026. Overall GDP growth of at least 4.8%. Non-oil real GDP growth of at least 4.9%. Mr. Speaker, NDI inflation of 8% plus or minus 2%. A primary surplus of 1.5% of GDP on commitment basis, and a gross international reserves sufficient to cover not less than 3 months of import. Mr. Speaker, beyond fulfilling a statutory obligation, these statements tell the story of where Ghana stood, where Ghana stands today, and where Ghana is heading. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully request the full text of this mid-year fiscal policy review be captured in the Hansard in its entirety, while I present the highlights to this House. Mr. Speaker, before I present the details of our economic performance, we must briefly recall where we came from. I do so because the lessons of economic history must never be forgotten. Mr. Speaker, when this administration took office, in January 2025, President Mahama inherited an economy on its knees. Right Honorable Speaker, the economic crisis of 2022 was not merely an accident. It was the consequences of a series of wrong policy choices. Choices about reckless spending, choices about excessive and binge borrowing, choices about lack of accountability, and a failure to level with the people of Ghana about the true state of the Ghanaian economy. Mr. Speaker, the consequences of those wrong choices for the Ghanaian people were so severe. The cedi depreciated at levels never seen before, eroding savings, businesses, business capital, and purchasing power of millions of Ghanaians. Inflation exceeded 50%, dramatically increasing the cost of living and placing basic necessities beyond the reach of many people. Real disposable incomes declined sharply. Interest rates surged, making credit expensive for the private sector. Investor confidence collapsed. International reserves fell to extremely low levels. International credit rating agencies downgraded Ghana's sovereign debt to levels never seen in our history. Mr. Speaker, Ghana lost access to the international capital market. The previous government implemented most painful debt restructuring program that imposed crude and painful haircuts on domestic and external bondholders. Financial institutions and individual bondholders also suffered significant losses, with many losing their lifetime of savings. Even pensioners were not spared the burden of crude and painful haircuts under the DDP. The Speaker, and businesses closed or relocated, jobs were lost, and many households that had escaped poverty fell back into hardships. Mr. Speaker, this is an honest account of the economy and the one that His Excellency the President inherited. We recount this event not to dwell on the past, but to remind ourselves of the heavy price of fiscal indiscipline, excessive borrowing, weak accountability, and dishonest economic management. Speaker, Ghana must never be brought this low again. In 2025, even after abolishing the nuisance taxes, including the e-levy. Right, Honorable Speaker, the lesson here is simple. Better policy, stronger compliance, and smarter administration will always deliver more sustainable revenue than higher taxes. Mr. Speaker, the third key transformational policy reform was the introduction of a complementary fiscal policy to support inflation targeting, ensuring exchange rate stability, and building external resilience. Central to this reform was the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board to curb gold smuggling, formalize the gold trade, and ensure that a greater share of Ghana's mineral wealth benefit the Ghanaian people. Through this intervention, Ghana generated an additional 15 billion United States dollars in foreign exchange inflows from gold, significantly strengthening reserve accumulation and supporting exchange rate stability. This single policy measure improved Ghana's current account balance by 6.4 percentage points from a surplus of 1.9% in 2024 to 8.3% in 2025. Mr. Speaker, this represents a 4 times increment of the current account surplus in just 1 calendar year. Mr. Speaker, this was not simply a gold policy. This was a macroeconomic stabilization policy designed to strengthen the city, build external buffers, and restore confidence in the Ghanaian economy. To reinforce these gains, government developed and is implementing the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy, GANRAP, with the objective of increasing Ghana's international reserve to the equivalent of 15 months of import cover by end of 2028. In a landmark initiative, Mr. Speaker, government has also reached agreement with large-scale mining companies to purchase 30% of their annual gold production for refining by local refineries, strengthening domestic value addition and supporting reserve accumulation. Government further amended the Bank of Ghana Act to make inflation targeting a shared responsibility between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana, ensuring stronger coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities. Mr. Speaker, economic reforms must ultimately be judged by their outcomes. I now turn to the evidence of what these key transformational policy reforms have delivered for the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the results of the last 8 months demonstrate that disciplined policies, competent economic management, and consistent implementation delivers tangible results. Real GDP growth grew by 6.0% in 2025, the fastest pace of economic expansion since 2019. Instructively, Mr. Speaker, non-oil GDP grew by 7.6% in 2025, the highest rate in 14 years, demonstrating that Ghana's recovery extends well beyond favorable commodity prices. Mr. Speaker, the momentum has continued into 2026. Real GDP growth reached 6.4% in the first half, exceeding expectations. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in our nation's history, the size of Ghana's economy exceeded $100 billion, firmly establishing Ghana as a major emerging market economy. Ghana's per capita income increased by more than $850 in just 1 year. Mr. Speaker, rising from $2,527 in 2024 to $3,385 at the end of 2025. This is the highest per capita income ever recorded